All right, so if you're in the world of project management, you know the PMBOK guide. I mean, you practically live and breathe this thing, right? It's the global standard. But here's the thing about standards. They have to evolve. And this new 8th edition, whoa. It's not just a little update. We're talking a complete reimagining of the entire project management playbook. Which, brings up a really good question. Why mess with a classic, right? I mean, why would you fundamentally change a guide that's been the cornerstone of the profession for decades? Well, the answer is pretty simple, actually. The world it was built for, the kind of projects we're all running today, has completely, totally changed. So the why behind this massive change really comes down to 3 big things. First up, timeliness. And get this, some of the core concepts in the old guide were over 40 years old. Can you believe that? Second, global accessibility. Project management is a global game now, so the language needed to be way clearer for everyone, no matter where you are. But honestly, the biggest driver, the real game changer, is this last one. Shifting focus from just, delivering outputs to delivering actual value. What's the difference? Well, think about it. It's the difference between just launching a new app feature and launching a feature that actually boosts customer retention by 10%. See? That's the new way of thinking. And make no mistake, with over 5 million copies out there, the PMBOK guide is the authority. So when it changes this dramatically, it signals a major, major shift for the entire profession. You can imagine the stakes to get this right were incredibly high. And they didn't take it lightly. This is probably the most evidence-based revision in the guide's entire history. The team behind it crunched a staggering 48,000 data points from all kinds of research to really get to the bottom of what modern projects demand. And on top of that, they listened. They took in over 12,000 comments from project managers like you, people in the trenches all around the world. So these changes weren't just dreamed up somewhere. They were forged by real-world experiences from the global community. Okay, so all of that incredible feedback and research led to a revolutionary new framework. The best way to understand it, I think, is to look at 4 major shifts. This is the heart of the new playbook, so let's dive in. Here's our roadmap. First, they've updated some key terms and concepts, to make things clearer for how we work today. Second, they've refined and really simplified the guiding principles. Third, and this is a big one, they totally reimagined the classic process groups. And finally, they've brought in these updated performance domains. Let's kick things off with the principles, because that's where you really start to feel the new philosophy. So the first big change is really a philosophical one. The whole goal was to turn the guide from this long, kind of academic list of ideas into a focused, genuinely actionable guide for people on the ground. Just look at this. The previous guide had 12 principles. The new 8th edition, it boils them all down to a super powerful set of 6. This just creates a much more intuitive framework. It gets rid of overlap and confusion, and frankly, makes the principles a heck of a lot easier to remember and actually use every day. And here they are. These 6 principles are basically the new mindset for any modern project leader. And look at them. This isn't just about process anymore, is it? It's about leadership, about culture, and there it is again, delivering that real value we keep talking about. And for the very first time, big concepts like sustainability and building an empowered team culture are baked right into the core framework. That's a huge step forward. All right, the next major shift is all about structure. We're moving away from a rigid one-size-fits-all process and toward a much more flexible, adaptive framework that's actually designed for how projects work in the real world. So where the old model was built around these pretty rigid process groups, the new model introduces flexible focus areas and integrates everything into a new idea called performance domains. If there's one word to remember for this whole shift, it's flexibility. Okay, let's break that down a bit. So those 5 classic process groups that we all memorized, initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing, well, they haven't disappeared, but they've been reimagined as more flexible focus areas. And the old knowledge areas, they've been integrated into 7 new performance domains. It's all held together by 40 adaptable processes. But here's what I think is the most important part: tailoring. It's now built right into the core of the guide. Because let's be real, no 2 projects are ever the same, right? So let's bring this home. What does this new playbook actually mean for you, the project professional out there doing the work? Well, it all boils down to a framework that's just fundamentally more adaptable, more valuable, and more accessible. So with this new guide, you've got adaptable practices you can actually tailor to any project in any industry using any approach, whether you're doing predictive, agile, or some kind of hybrid. It gives you a clearer, globally understood language for you and your teams. And most importantly, it equips you to shift your entire mindset from just checking off tasks to delivering real, measurable value. So there you have it. The global standard for project management has just taken its biggest leap forward in decades. It's evolved to meet the demands of a world that is way more complex, way faster, and totally value-driven. The playbook is new. The only question left is, how are you going to use it to evolve your own approach?